This is my grandfather. His name's Lon Potter. What year were you born in, Grandpa?
August 12th, 1932.
Okay, 1932. Alright, so when did your family come to the United States?
My father's family came from England in 1838. My mother's family came from Scotland in 1829.
So they were here for a long time. So how did you end up in East Texas?
During the Great Depression, let me go back, I was born in Oklahoma, and my whole family resided at that time in Oklahoma. The Great Depression came in around 1930, and by 1932 many people in Oklahoma, many families had migrated either to California or Texas. My dad had some college majoring in engineering, although at the time, because of the Depression, he was unable to continue because of financial problems. He had married my mother in the mid-1920s, and they had, my sister and I are twins. We were born in 1932, and my father heard of a job opportunity in Tyler, Texas, and he went to investigate it, found out it was a good situation, and moved my sister, my mother, my grandparents to Tyler.
So, do you remember growing up during the Depression?
Yes.
Was that hard?
Very much.
Like, did it put a lot of hardship on your family other than, having to move to Tyler and all that?
Most people were having financial hardships. At that time, the population of the United States was about 150 million, 160 million. 35% of the working force was out of work.
Wow.
It was a terrible financial disaster.
So your dad getting a job was unheard of almost.
And a relatively good job. So we had financial burdens, but nothing like a lot of people. And people had difficulty buying groceries, paying their rent, and it was just a very tough situation. But most people did not really know they were poor.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was.
So it was just kind of normal to not have anything.
Well, not have the basics. And
yeah. I mean, compared to now, you see everyone just expects to have everything and more. And
it's a completely different attitude by people today, especially young people who have had their parents have had the opportunity to have much higher paying jobs than during the Depression. And
well, you know how people talk about our economy being bad now? Well, because we're in a recession, but compared to how it was before, how do you think the economy is now? It's not.
The economy is great compared to the Depression. I mean, there's financial problems being had by a lot of people. But during the Depression, people were on the street, soup lines, they couldn't buy groceries, they had no money, they were being evicted. I recall reading that during 1932 to 1934, 700,000 young men had hopped the train as hobos trying to go from town to town to find just enough money to eat. So it's nothing like the Great Depression of the 30s.
Well, when did you graduate high school?
I graduated from Tyler High School in 1950.
1950. How was it going to high school in the 40s?
Well, it was great. You know, high school is always great for most students. It was the same way then. People were happy, the students, going to football games on Friday or Saturday nights, having cookouts after the game or before the game. Very much fun.
Well, you joined the Coast Guards, right? How old were you when you joined the Coast Guard?
18.
So right after high school?
No, I had about 3 courses in college. I graduated when I was 17.
Okay.
And I took 3 or 4 courses in college, the primary courses that you take. Then the Korean War broke out, and young men were still very patriotic in those days. And I felt it was my duty to sign up to try to stop South Korea from becoming a communist nation.
So, when you joined, like, where did you go? Were you stationed anywhere?
I was stationed after boot camp in New York City. It was a great place to spend your military career.
How long were you in the Coast Guard?
4 years.
Okay.
And I became a warrant officer.
Oh, wow.
Because of my college courses in criminal justice, I was elected to go and train with the FBI at their headquarters in Virginia for 9 months. When I got out of the training, I was brought back to New York and put in what was called port security, working with the FBI.
Oh.
And that's where I spent my career.
And then you met my grandmother, correct, while you were in the Coast Guards?
We met, I think, in 1952.
And
dated, and your grandmother was a great writer. In fact, that was one of her jobs she had, writing commercials, that type of thing. She wrote a letter to a national television program called Bride and Groom, and we won the contest, and we were married on national television in 1953.
And y'all won all these prizes.
We won tremendous prizes, vacations to the Caribbean, complete household, complete house full of furniture, money, use of a rental car for a year.
Okay, so you graduated from law school. What kind of lawyer what did you do in that field?
I was in private practice, general practice, for about 5 years. And then I had represented La Quinta hotels in some cases, and I was hired by La Quinta to be a corporate attorney for them. And I spent 30 years with them.
30 years.
And retired.
So now you're about to have a birthday coming up, right?
Well, not for about 7 months.
But it's going to be number 80.
Right.
So how have you seen this past 80 years? Do you feel like you've had a great life and everything?
Well, I've had a very good life. I've had jobs that I've really enjoyed and wanted to go to every day. And family life was good. Your mother was my only child, and we had a very good relationship over the years. So it's a very good life.
I agree. You're a good grandpa. Okay, well, unless you want to say anything else, I've asked you all my questions, and is there anything else you want to talk about that was really important to you over the years, or something maybe I don't know about you or anything?
No, but I encourage all students, if possible, to further their education in some endeavor after college, whether it be a technical school or a four-year college. But the chances of making more money will definitely be there, and to have I think, a happier life, not just the money, but education is very important, because I've gone through 80 years, and if I hadn't had the education that I had, I don't know what I would have done in life.
Wouldn't have been as great as it was.
I don't think so, but you
Yeah.
never know.
All right, well, thank you for interviewing with me. Okay.
That's it.
Bye.